This video focuses on Lamar Jackson's usage under center through 2 games with the Ravens in 2022. It brings me a lot of joy, to be honest with you, to see him operating under center and to see some markers or some indications that the Ravens are moving further along the trajectory of operating under center a little more. I think their personnel, it benefits our personnel in a lot of ways. I think it benefits our offensive line in certain situations. Lamar, in my opinion, can do anything. I almost made that the title of this video. Lamar Jackson can, like, ... And then, nothing else. I didn't know if that would be catchy or corny or what, but I really truly believe he could play in any offense. And we see that pretty much every week that he plays. He'll operate out of the pistol occasionally now. In 2022, run the pistol option, run the pistol play action pass with the over concept that we used a ton in the last 2.5 years. He can operate out of a typical shotgun with a running back to his left or his right, make reads in that way, QB counter read, QB power read. The way he's throwing the ball this year, I don't even need to evaluate that or talk about it. The numbers are there, the stats are there, and those are great. I don't really like to quote stats. You don't come here for that. But his stats are an indication of how well he's throwing the ball this year, how explosive the offense has been in terms of the big plays, and what Lamar is offering us in those situations. And then finally, how smooth he looks, how comfortable he looks with pretty much everything that we do, including the under center stuff. So I've broken this up, to be honest with you, into 3 parts. And it's primarily going to be focused on the Miami game. And this first part is interesting. I'm going to let the play run and then kind of explain a concept that I'm aware of, and there's plenty that I'm not, but this one I am aware of. A lot of option teams call their plays. I'm not talking about necessarily the NFL, but a lot of option teams call a concept, but they don't call direction. And then as the quarterback gets to the line, he will say Ricky, Lucy, Rhonda, Linda, something, and that gives everyone the direction. So everyone knows the play, but not the direction. I might be wrong here. This does not look like Lamar audibling from a pass play to a run play. That's not what this looks like to me. This looks like him giving the direction of the play. And the only thing I can suspect is that you have a nickel or strong safety rolled up here, and then what looks like a Mike linebacker and I guess a weak side linebacker over here to the offense's left, the defense's right. My suspicion is that maybe we're running this toward the strong safety. Very unique play for the Ravens to be running it. Not a unique play in the NFL at this point in time. I did a video on this about the Rams usage of it, or the 49ers usage of it against the Rams last year. I did a video of it about the Bills usage against the Rams after week 1, that Thursday night game. And then I also did a video about the Dolphins' use of this play, and I will show this to you in a moment. So you got Ricard going to go in motion, and Oliver's going to step to Phillips, the outside linebacker, and then Ricard's going to try to get to him, but I think Phillips expands so much, Ricard ends up just moving to the next level and doesn't really get anybody. I don't fault him for it on this play. I feel like Phillips expands himself, which is mission accomplished for us. And the way that we are blocking this concept, I love it. Our offensive linemen are able to get out on people. If you watched my preview, don't ask me why this is zoomed in as much as it is. I have no idea. If you watch my preview before the Miami game, here is that exact same play. They generally run it to the boundary, just like the 49ers do against the Rams, and they run it the same way I just showed you. So it was just unique. It was interesting to me that we ran it there. Again, I have no idea why this is zoomed in so much, but this tight end is going to motion across, and then him and the other tight end, who you can kind of see here on the left side of your screen, they're going to double team the edge defender, and then the running back is going to cut it up inside of there. So very similar, the exact same play concept, essentially, except there the Dolphins ran it to the boundary. And in the one I showed you for the Ravens, we ran it to the field. Again, this is zoomed in. J.K. Dobbins is off screen, back here to our left. But you can see Lamar's under center. Prior to this year, this is generally what you got when Lamar went under center, which was 22 personnel, Patrick Ricard at fullback, and us just coming downhill. This is a fantastic run by J.K. Dobbins, by the way, but I'm using this to illustrate my point. Now we're running multiple concepts, which I intend to show you throughout the course of this video. This was pretty much what you got under center. I don't think that was a Lamar Jackson limitation. I think that was just a limitation of of the types of things we were running. End zone angle, same play. Now you can see JK. Watch how bouncy he is. And, man, running backs like this are horrible to deal with for inside linebackers because you commit to one spot because he threatens that area, and then a lineman gets up to you and he just bounces this back in on the back end basically after the linebacker has been comboed up to. Beautiful stuff. Having said that, we were very limited under center with what we did before. And the combo I'm talking about is 66 here, working up and sealing 54 this way, and then JK sliding through the back door there. Would I like to see us run this play some? Well, sure, if we feel like we're running downhill. But prior to this year, that's pretty much what we did. All right. A little bit different here. Under center, still 22 personnel. Davis in the backfield. And once again, Lamar sits up and kind of says something. It's a 3rd and short, or maybe 4th and short, excuse me, and we give it to Ricard. I think that's a wonderful idea to do. We just can't give it away with our intentions of, Ricard being at fullback and maybe being in a 2-point stance as opposed to a 3-point stance, because he's going to get the ball. But in any case, you see multiple examples of us being under center. Some of them are in the eye, so we have a tailback and a fullback. And then sometimes the fullback, which is Ricard, is over here with the tight end. This is a formation I call Trey, or Trey wing, so 2 tight ends. But we know that personnel-wise, Ricard's a fullback. A receiver who's off the line so that the tight end can still be eligible, and then a tailback, 1 back in the backfield. My only problem is, and I think I mentioned this after the Jets game, usually when we're 1 back here under center, that's pass, at least from what I see this year. And I don't have all the data compiled yet. I've been putting out so much content that some of my database in terms of the data being labeled is still behind. All right, Ricard's going to go in this shuffle motion, and I'm going to show you a play from week 1 against the Jets. This is one of the indications for me that lets me know we're going to continue running stuff under center, and maybe we're going to reveal new concepts each week depending on how we're doing. We ran a wham play against the Jets, a wham trap with Oliver where he went in this same shuffle motion. You'll see it in a moment. I love the route. I love what Lamar's doing. We only have 2 guys out in the route, so that's not great if no one's going to get open. But Lamar trusts Rashad Bateman to get open, even against Xavier Howard. End zone angle, you see Ricard in the shuffle motion. And where's he end up? He ends up in the A gap to pass pro. Nothing wrong with that. If we get a blitzing linebacker, he can help out. Lamar gives Bateman time. Look at the technique by Lamar, though. I don't know what you could say about this that's negative. Can you? It looks perfect to me. Look how athletic and comfortable he looks, like the bounciness that he gets when he gets back here and he turns his hips to look back towards Bateman. Watch him bounce and maintain perfect level shoulders. Boom, boom. That's wonderful if you ask me. He was capable of that in previous years. All right, so the play that I'm referring to from the Jets, what I think we're trying to make Miami think is happening on that previous play that I just showed you is going to be here. Oliver's going to go in the shuffle motion and then wham trap this D tackle who is left unblocked. You remember this is the play that Davis fumbles. And then the very next play, we score on the long touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman. So I think we're installing, I think these things are already installed, but maybe we're just revealing them a little bit at a time. So that's interesting to me. Do you think there's going to be any drives where we're under center for 6, 7, 8 plays in a row? I'm interested to see that. Could it come this week against New England? I'm not sure. I don't know. I know Lamar's ready for it. But the cool thing about this play, talked about it many times, Linderbaum, it allows him to go straight up to the inside linebacker. Powers and Macari, their job is to seal the backside D-end and backside inside linebacker. And then Ricard is going to go get the backside inside linebacker. So we get everybody blocked up. Yeah, Oliver gets blown up. He's dealing with a D tackle. So it's not like he's gonna floor that guy. He's gonna trap him and knock him on his butt. But he accomplishes the task. I think that's what we were trying to fake. Here's the last 2 plays I broke down. This is against Miami. On the left, Ricard's going to go in motion. And then pass pro in the front side A gap. Lamar's going to kick back, play action, then find Bateman on the right side of our screen. Same thing here. Shuffle motion, Oliver. He's going to wham trap this D tackle. Exact same motion, exact same formation, except the difference here is Ricard is at fullback there, right? And we don't have him in the backfield on the play on your left. So not exactly the same play because Ricard is the guy who's going in motion, but we're giving a similar look to the defense so that they don't know, okay, when we get that shuffle motion by one of the tight ends or the wing, I call it, then it's going to be that wham trap. Hopefully that makes sense. This indicates to me that we're going to be under center more often than just I don't know, how many times would you say we've been under center this year? I would say it's 16 or 18 or 20, something like that. All right, one back here, stretch to our left. Linderbaum gets up to the second level quick, but we're talking about Lamar, and I think Linderbaum could maybe help Zeitler more with this nose, but Linderbaum is one of those guys, like, he gets up to the second level. Nobody else does this on our offensive line with the speed and tenacity that he does. But let's check out Lamar. There's a little giddy up right there when the ball is snapped. I'm not sure what that is. There's a little hop with his right foot. I don't know if he false stepped or not. I think you'll get the end zone angle. I love the stretch stuff because it sets up the boot. This is the end zone angle of the same play, so we're going to get stretch here. So this would set up, Lamar booting in the opposite direction, which we ran the first play of the season, to Rashad Bateman against the Jets. And then we also ran another time later in the game to Demarcus Robinson. All right, under center 22 personnel again. I'd like to see us be under center some in our 12 personnel with Likely and Andrews on the field. This is what I would call a cheap play, but it gets all messed up by this number 52 down here who does a great job of just slamming into Ricard and doing what we would call knock it back. So the back, Drake and Lamar, who's going to reverse pivot, are going in the same direction. I call it a cheap play because that running back is usually open in the flats. Watch 52 come up here and just blow Ricard up and kind of mess up the timing of the whole thing. And I think he gets in the way of Drake too because he blasted Ricard. Lamar scrambles. There was a lot of people talking about Drake. Hey man, why don't you block on that play? He recognized, I think, that he was going to be behind the play. All right, really, really poor job here. 4th and 1. Hate the call. Hate the fact we're going for it. So hate the decision too. Hate everything about it. Hate the fact that in the middle of this video where I'm saying Lamar does a great job under center, we have to show him fumbling on the 1-yard line. I think we've left too many points out there in the last 2 or 3 years. Inside the 5 on 4th down. I think organizationally they've got to look at it and just stop. Just stop. And sometimes it involves a coach or multiple coaches in a coaches meeting just coming into work that day and saying, today's Jimmy Shaker day. What that means is today's the day I'm going to confront you and I'm going to not give in on this issue. Somebody's got to come in there and say enough is enough. Let's take the points. Let's stop doing this with a guy who is, well, let's be honest with you, Lamar's playing at an MVP level right now. Are we going to see that level against New England? I think so. All other things being equal, all other opportunities being there in terms of health, in terms of our play calls, letting him attack, I think we're going to see the same level of play out of him. I just don't like it that we're putting him in those situations on 4th and goal from the 1 against a really badass front for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, we had 4 chances to punch it in before that play I just showed you, and we did not succeed. So what's the point? We're going to get a 5th chance. I said this in one of my videos this week. How many times will we need to be stopped before you would recognize we need to not go for that? In my opinion, am I making excuses for Lamar? Well, maybe I am. I admit to it. But I know this: I wouldn't have called that play. I would have gotten the points. All right, play action again. 1 back. So a lot of these 1 back situations are pass plays when we're under center. Cool formation, trips left closed. You got Ricard, Likely, and then one of our receivers, okay, who's back kind of far if you ask me. And then Andrews' backside is going to run, surprise, surprise, his little over route and beat what I think is a strong safety. Lamar, the ball here kind of dips a little bit, but I love whenever I see Lamar get back here and that angle in his leg when he plants. I'm going to try to pause it here. Whenever I see that angle, I know he's already decided, already recognized where he's going to go with the football. And he is planting that foot so that he can push off and explode here. There's been a handful of times, not this year, in previous seasons when we're under center or even in the pistol, and he gets back there, and I don't see that sturdy, almost foundational, boom, push off, and then push myself forward to get ready to drive the ball, even though, that ball isn't really driven that far downfield, to be honest with you. But I know when his body is aligned in that way in terms of his back leg, his plant leg, his right leg, that we're going to see a good throw because he knows where he's going with the football. In the past, I feel like we had seen some heel taps. It looks like we're closer to it here than than any other example right there. The step before that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pause it for you. Looks like we almost saw a heel tap there, but I can't really tell from the all-22. And there's pressure in his face, so that kind of actually, to me, explains, this throw. You can see the ball is out maybe 5 feet out of his hands, and it looks like he's already got contact, and then 55 closing down on him too. So now that I look at it from the end zone angle again, it doesn't surprise me that the ball didn't have as much drive on it. Looks like Andrews is getting held, still wins the matchup, which he does consistently. All right, that's a 9-yard gain. It's 2nd and 1. This is not under center, obviously. This is a complaint about play calling. We got the matchup and the look we want. I want this matchup. I don't know about you. I want this matchup. Like, Bateman's been doing work in training camp. Bateman's been making explosive plays in the regular season. I want to find out how good he is. He beat Xavier Howard on that slant. It was a really well-designed play for the 75-yard touchdown. 2nd and 1, the Dolphins are selling out to stop the run here. In my opinion, 2nd and 1 is the perfect opportunity to go play action. Yeah, you got to get it off because they're going to be bringing pressure to try to stop the run. Run blitzes and pass blitzes aren't the same thing, though. And in my opinion, this is a run blitz. This safety off the edge, this is a run blitz for us if we possibly run option to that side. Last year against the Dolphins, I did a breakdown after that game. I don't have access to that video anymore, where they were bringing safety blitzes away from Ricard when he was the fullback. So when Ricard was the fullback, they understood that he was going to go this way for the option play. And Lamar was going to step off the midline here, and so his chest and his face mask was going to be looking that way, and the running back's going to go downhill to the offense's left, the defense's right. I'm trying to explain to you why they're bringing this safety. This stand-up outside linebacker would go inside of Ricard if Ricard went here, which would force a keep read by Lamar. And then once Lamar keeps it, this strong safety blitzing off the edge should have a great opportunity for a tackle for loss. They brought that blitz last year in 2021 5 or 6 times in the first half when Ricard was in the backfield as a fullback. So I suspect that that's what they're doing here. I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to go play action. Hindsight is 20/20, especially on Wednesday as I record this video. But in my opinion, I want to find out how good we are. I know we're very good. I think you do too. But I want to find out, press man, whole boundary side to deal with. Can we beat a guy like Xavier Howard up there? I think we can. I think we've got a great opportunity to. Let's put it that way. All right, under center, 1 back again. I think we got Davis back here. Lamar one more time. He seems to be saying something. He seems to be checking something. We go play action. This is a great ball to Duvernay over the middle. This is not the one that he apparently got concussed on. I'm interested in a lot of this. Let me hear your thoughts. It seems as if Lamar is making more checks, but it seems like he's doing it almost every play when he's under center. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if he's telling somebody the route. To be honest with you, that one right there looks like a fake to me. It looks like he's acting as if he's changing something, but he's really not. I have no evidence. I'm just going off of intuition and observation there. End zone angle, you got Oliver on the right, Ricard pass proing, and look at Davis trying to jump through this A-gap because Moses has been collapsed into Zeitler. Very rare, but he pulled it off. And then Lamar floats this out there. There was someone a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I forget who it was, it was like, Lamar, it was a comment on my channel. Lamar Jackson can't make anticipation throws. I don't know, is this an anticipation throw? It's a pretty damn good one if you ask me. Also notice too when he gets back here, watch this angle of this leg. I ain't no quarterback coach, never was, but Again, it's this angle of the leg when he pushes off. I think he's like, boom. I think he's got a pretty good idea of where we're going with the football. Either it doesn't work out the route he's looking for, or he recognizes the pressure that's coming here. So he decides, all right, I'm going to have to step up and then throw this ball, kind of off my right hip, right shoulder, pretty accurately, if you ask me. Almost done here. One back, 21 personnel, ace formation. So this is the same one as the first play I showed you. It's Ricard and the tight end off the line. I suspect that we are calling the play, toss, and then Lamar is checking to the direction. Now, I can't prove that to you at all, but he's definitely checking something here. He's definitely making a call in some manner. I think they've called the play, and he then comes up to the line, looks at the defense, and then calls the direction. I think in this case, he's calling it to the boundary because they've rolled the nickel defender to the field. It's pretty much that same look as that first play I showed you, a 5-3 with the free safety in the middle of the field. We get Oliver in motion. The only real evidence that I have for you about the direction that we're going in is this. Look at Oliver's feet now. He's off the line because we're on the line up here. Watch Oliver's feet here are what, on the 46 or right in front of the 46? So 45 3/4, something like that. After Lamar makes his call, Oliver hears the call. What's he do? He backs up. Why? Because he knows he's going in motion. That's how I think I know they're calling the direction. And then, they're calling the play concept, and then Lamar is calling the direction. Unsuccessful play. Ingram kind of tries to dive inside of Ricard here because he knows that he's going to get double teamed by Oliver and him if he stays put. This is the one that Drake runs out of bounds on, and some people were complaining. Look, there's plenty of pursuit there. Would we love to see him fight for another yard or two to get the first down? Of course, because I think this is late in the game. I don't really fault him for it. All right, last play. We've actually run a screen from under center, which is fun to watch. In our Discord, that's, like 65 people at this point, we all messaged immediately after this. We're like, did we just run a screen on first down? Yeah, we did, and we ran it effectively. And Lamar, if you ask me, looks pretty damn good. It's not like he's just fading away so much that he kind of gives this away. I feel like he'd be good at poker. I feel like he's... Now, the only thing is, I don't know. That's not a bad sell. I don't think it's a perfect sell, in my opinion. We'll get a better view of it from the end zone angle. Let me know what you think. Am I giving Lamar Jackson too much credit? I don't think so. Because they didn't let him play under center a ton. They didn't build in these concepts that were complementary. Certainly didn't run a whole lot of screens, right, to help him out and to help out the offensive lineman. I feel like the offense has installed 8, 10, 12 under center concepts. According to my charting, we've gotten some explosive plays under center. Of course, Lamar's 79-yard touchdown run was out of the shotgun. The touchdown pass to Bateman, I don't believe was under center. I believe we were in the gun. But there's a lot of plays that I showed you in this film that are under center, and we're making explosive plays. I'm talking 9 yards plus, 10 yards plus, the completion to Duvernay that you saw. I think there's a completion to Likely that I omitted. Let me know what you think of Lamar under center, how you perceive his efficiency. I feel like his body is very efficient under center right now. Looks really relaxed. Looks like he understands where he may go with the football, what his options are, going through his reads. All that BS about Lamar Jackson succeeds because he got put into the right system, Greg Roman's pistol option system. That's BS. Lamar didn't run all of that in college. He ran it occasionally, don't get me wrong, because he was such an athlete. But he ran a very different and distinct offensive system in college that wasn't Greg Roman's pistol option system. And Greg Roman's isn't an option guy dating back decades anyway. It's not like he's Paul Johnson, or it's not like he's some of the guys that in college ran the triple option under center for decades through the Navy, and Georgia Tech systems. In my opinion, Lamar looks great. This is another example that Lamar can be successful in any system. The Ravens are essentially, I think, running 3 systems right now. And the third one is the one that, could probably unlock the running game some. It would be the pistol option read plays, but I think it's the one that I'm glad we're not using a whole lot for real. Unfortunately, if we had used the pistol option some against Miami in that second half to maybe pick up some first downs and possess the ball, does it give us a better chance to win the game? I think it does. I do. I think it does. But I'm still glad we're not using it so much. I wish we used it strategically. I felt like we did that in the Jets game in the second half. Thought we ran it twice to kind of unlock the run game. And the run game, I felt like did have more success against the Jets in the late third quarter, fourth quarter, even though, we didn't have a whole lot of rushing yards. Let me know what you think of my thoughts, what you think of Lamar's play under center. Hopefully you guys appreciate the graphic. It's awesome stuff. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you probably aren't listening at this point, but please consider subscribing now. Shooting for 6,000 subscribers now, just past 5,000 about 5 days ago, and we're moving up quick. I appreciate you guys' time and appreciate all your support.